Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
and I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so in today's episode we are going to be reacting to a video that has been going very viral, and one thing I can say as we start this episode is it takes a great man to realize that they've been doing things in a wrong way, or they've been wronging people in how they do things, apologize for it and acknowledge what they've been doing wrong and try and change other people's mind on it. So before I say anything else, anything further, let's just watch this video and then we'll come back with our remarks.
Growing up in the mountains of North Carolina, I was taught racism. From as young as I can remember, I was told black people are violent. Black people are lazy. Black people are not as smart as white people. I remember my dad told me that black people are too lazy to work, and so they depend on welfare to live, and they sell drugs. 10 minutes after my dad said that to me, a man knocked on the door. I let him in. He handed my dad some money. My dad weighed out some marijuana and a few pills and handed it to that gentleman. And then we went to the store to buy some groceries. We didn't buy groceries with the money that man just handed my father. It was little yellow, blue, and green food coupons. So my dad is trying to teach me that black people are drug dealers on welfare, while my dad was selling drugs out the living room, living on welfare. You see, he would tell me, son, I work very hard. I don't make enough money to provide for you kids, so that's why I sell these drugs. I just love you so much. And these food stamps, well, I pay my taxes, so I earn them. You see, the indoctrination begins at a very young age. We are taught without even knowing it, there are two Americas. Despite marijuana use with the black community and the white community at the same rate, the black community is arrested and convicted at a rate 3 times higher than white America. There are black Americans in prison right now serving 30 and 40-year sentences for marijuana, while corporations are becoming multi-billion-dollar businesses selling marijuana. There are two Americas. If a man broke in my house right now, and I shot that man in the back, albeit in my own house, I could not claim self-defense because I shot him in the back. But a police officer can shoot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times and still be at work. If that's okay with you, we are on different moral platforms. We are on different ethical existences if that's okay with you. There's two Americas. The America I grew up in says if you comply, everything will be okay. Well, for white America, that's true. But black America faces a very different reality. The use of force and the threat of the use of force is actually 4 times higher for police-initiated interactions. The America I grew up in will say, if you stop talking about racism, it'll go away. Well, for white America, that's true. Because as a white American, I don't have to think about my race. I'm not judged by my skin color as soon as a potential employer meets me. As soon as a loan officer meets me. As someone that's coming to appraise my home for sale, don't judge me by my skin color. As a white American, I can completely forget about my race and even racism, so long as nobody talks about it. So then in my world, it won't exist. Well, I've decided enough of that. I'm here to call white America to task. I'm here to tell white America it's time to stand the hell up. Beside our fellow human beings, beside our fellow citizens, and it's time for white America to be part of the solution.
Now, let's talk about this for a moment before we go on. You've heard what this white man has had to say, and this is a challenge to all white people, all right? If more white people could stand up like this man and realize and start talking about it more and more, because, you know, nowadays the defense of white people is, I'm not racist because I don't encourage racism, yet you don't speak against it, you understand? Someone once said, if you see an act of racism going on, even if you're not the one who's done that act of racism, it's like being complicit or compliant with it. So, you know, you just have to speak up when wrong is wrong. Yeah, so I want to talk about another thing that, you know, another thing that this white man was talking about. Right. Indoctrination, really, you can see through his speech, indoctrination began at a very early age for him. The way his father used to talk to him about black people, you know, the general stereotypic, you know, thinking of white people towards black people, saying that, you know, if you see a black person, don't go close to their homes because they are very dangerous. If you see a black person, know that they are very lazy, and if not all of them, most of them depend on welfare in order to survive. Then at the same time, yes, at the same time, the irony is his father, his own father, was also using food stamps to survive and to feed them. And his own father was a drug, his own father was a drug dealer. And I'm really proud of this white man for coming out and talking against his own family like this, because, you know, this is his father, and he's coming out publicly to talk about what his father used to do, and yet his father was the one talking to him about how bad black people are, how lazy black people are, you know. So, and the funniest thing I find in all of this is when his father says black people are lazy and hence depend on food stamps, that they become lazy. But his own father, when he uses food stamps, he justifies it as, I am a taxpayer and this is my right as a taxpayer. So do black people as taxpayers do they not deserve the same right that you claim to have? Yeah, so black Americans and any Africans in diaspora who are watching this, and African Americans who are watching this, do you guys not pay stamps so that some of you who want to use food stamps are not allowed to, or are shamed into using food stamps because you're black? Because you're black, do you not pay tax same as the white people? Because I know you do. Yeah, what I find here is a serious case of projection. White people, that was self-hate this man was going through, you know. The father of this man, not this man, his father, you know, that was projection. He was projecting his own hate towards the black community. And mind you, there are black people in black communities who are really succeeding in legal ways, who are not being acknowledged. So let's think about that for a moment, and as we do that, leave us your comment on what you think about this video. So let's continue watching this video and we'll come back with more.
I was raised by racists. I was taught how to be racist. So you can quit telling me that racism doesn't exist. You're a damn liar. I was raised in the belly of the beast. I was raised by racists, and now they hate me. I call that a glow up. It's all right. I'm not here to speak for black America, over black America, at black America. I'm here to speak to and at white America, and I'm screaming, wake the hell up. White supremacy is woven into the very fabric of this country. White supremacy bleeds from every pore of this country. In schools, we have standardized testing, but we don't have standardized resources. We don't have standardized opportunities. In hospitals, a black woman is more likely to die during childbirth at a rate 3 times higher than that of a white woman. In neighborhoods, power plants and dumps are more likely to be put up by a predominantly black neighborhood than a predominantly white neighborhood. At home, 22% of black America lives in poverty, whereas only 9% of white America lives in poverty. White America loves black music, black trends, black culture, but kills black people at a rate 2.87 times higher than that of white people by the police. All of these things will not change unless we tear down, I'm going to say that again, unless we tear down the system of white supremacy that has built them into existence. We cannot fix the current system, for it is not broken. This system is working exactly as it was intended. Passing laws will not change it. You cannot legislate morality. Black America has screamed tirelessly for decades about these injustices, while white America has turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. Well, I'm here to say no more. Change is coming. Revolution is coming. It's time to open your eyes, white America. White people make up nearly 60% of the American population, and the overwhelming majority of them refuse to even admit that racism exists. They think that there's a conspiracy against them by the government with zero evidence, but ignore the obvious systemic racism and oppression against black America that's well documented. Well, I've made it my life's mission to call white America to task. Mr. Blake, Miss Austin, to all the families of victims of police brutality in this country, to all of those of you who wake up every day and deal with the system of white supremacy built to marginalize you, I say to you this one thing: I will stand with you. I will march with you. I will protest with you. I will fight with you. I will use my privilege and my platform to demand that white America stop ignoring this humanitarian crisis happening right here in America. So, white America, this is your choice. Either be part of the solution, or by God, you are the problem. No justice, no peace.
You guys, if you've watched this far, please leave a comment on what you think about these issues. So I think this man's heart is in the right place, and if there would be many more white, it begins with one person starting to speak up, right? And if there were more white people who spoke against this issue, I believe America is headed somewhere. But for right now and for today, the way he says this systemic race, and a majority of the white population doesn't even want to admit that there is systemic race, that in itself shows you how much work all these people still have to do. Yeah, white supremacy is a real problem, not only in America but the entire rest of the world. But let's focus on America. He talks of white supremacy, and one thing I can tell you for sure is I don't know if you guys have ever heard about reversed racism. This, if you take a look at what happened in South Africa, and you take a good look at the country right now, you know, everybody knows the history of South Africa and how they were oppressed for a long time. South Africa has the majority of white settlers when you compare it to the rest of other African country. Yeah, and right now I can tell you the white population in South Africa is not a majority of them. They're not the happiest. The only people who are enjoying the country are the white people who are extremely rich in that country. But South Africa, what is happening now, some people term it as reversed racism, where a lot of opportunities are going to the black people. The black people have taken control of their country, and the white people are being squeezed out. They're being let to I don't know how I should that is how it appears when you look at it from an overall angle. But when you dig deep, you understand that these people, their generation is now living out the consequences of what their forefathers did to South Africa and to South Africa. Yeah, so what this man was saying is, you know, if you keep on denying that racism exists, a white person in America, you keep on denying, there might come a time when tables will turn. Not only tables turning, but there might come a time where you will be brutally faced to see the reality of what's in front of your face, and that your forefathers and maybe even you tolerate racism. Yeah, if you might not practice it, but you tolerate racism. Black people have a history of being mistreated, discriminated. You know, they have records and histories. Even right now, there are news that are trending that some of the cops who are brutally beaten a black innocent person, they're those cops who had committed crimes against black people. There are some cases right now that are being dismissed and discharged from the court system, and that is a very big injustice. So if this things keep on being encouraged, I'm telling you, white supremacy is becoming a real problem. So this is not just the black community issue, it's also you as a citizen. You might not be the white person doing directly harming a black person, but you keeping quiet and tolerating it, so long as you can, you can have the privilege to forget that you're white sometimes, because things don't happen to you. But let me tell you something, society has a way of bringing itself into order. So I'll just leave you with that. And I don't know, you if you're watching this video and you're a black person anywhere in the world that you're watching our video, please let us know what you think about this video. Leave your comment in the comment section.
Yeah, and also remember to subscribe and like this video so that you can become a member or a tribe member of Twinshangout Kenya.
Right, so
see you in the next video.
And remember to share also to someone you think might benefit from this video. Bye.